I got to read for you, actually, this Twitter thread. I got to be honest with you, I saw it and I laughed when I saw this Twitter thread. It is from David Leonhardt at the New York Times. Just now, he's senior writer for the New York Times. I'm going to read you part of his thread. Some defenders of the Biden administration continue to argue that its policies weren't the main reason that immigration soared, or even argue that the administration didn't actually loosen policy. These claims are inconsistent with the evidence. I'll lay it out here. The Biden administration loosened immigration policy in many ways. It celebrated doing so. The changes weren't a secret. Start with the Democratic Party's 2020 platform on immigration. It talked almost exclusively about making it easier for people to enter the country. The 2020 Democratic platform never mentioned border security, and most threats of border are about expanding entry. Then look at Biden's campaign. His main message was come. We're a nation that says if you want to flee and you're fleeing oppression, you can come. Once Biden took office, he immediately loosened immigration policy. He ended Trump's Remain in Mexico. Biden rescinded an order that called for the prompt removal of undocumented immigrants. He halted construction of the wall. All those moves were in February 2021. To be clear, there are strong arguments in favor of the policy moves, and there are strong arguments against them. But Biden obviously loosened immigration policy. Was Biden's loosening of immigration policy the main reason that immigration surged? Biden's loosening certainly wasn't the only reason. COVID reduced migration. The pandemic's end led to catch-up. Chaos in Venezuela, Ukraine, Haiti, and elsewhere caused people to flee. But they aren't the main reason the U.S. just experienced the largest immigration surge in history. There are always push factors. The clearest evidence that Biden's loosening was the main cause of the surge has come this year. Biden aides spent 22 and 2023 claiming their policies weren't the surge's main cause, and then under political pressure, sharply restricted immigration policy in 2024. And what happened? Immigration plunged. That's David Leonhardt telling truths at the New York Times, truths that could have been told at any time, and they chose not to. The media, complicit with the Democrats, chose not to tell the American public the truth, but to lie to them. Same with the economy. I pointed this out yesterday and earlier this week when the New York Times story came out. Why are they just now telling us? And along the way, you have a bunch of young Democratic progressives saying the problem is that we've lost the ability to persuade. Friends, I'm not going to put it as bluntly as I did on social media because there may be kids listening. But the problem is not persuasion on the Democratic Party side. Democrats do not have a persuasion problem. They have a problem thinking that you can put boys with boy parts in girl sports, chicks with in girl sports. They have a problem using Latinx instead of Latino or Hispanic. They have a problem by supporting open border. They have a problem by using the phrase undocumented migrant instead of illegal alien and accusing you of racism if you say illegal alien. They have a problem with saying unhoused when it's a homeless problem and by saying pregnant person instead of pregnant woman. They are bat crap crazy when it comes to these sorts of issues. It has nothing to do with persuasion. It has to do with the fact that normal people don't talk the way Democrats talk, and normal people don't believe the things Democrats believe. Normal people want their kids to get an education, and Democrats can't even get pornography out of elementary school libraries because they say it's censoring books. Normal people don't think their kindergartner needs to know what the gender unicorn is. They need to learn how to read, and yet Democrats are heralding progressive teachers who want to talk about the gender unicorn and the pastel colors of the new pride flag. Democrats believe that police officers are bad and need to be defunded when poor families in poor communities want the police to keep them safe. And I'm sorry, Democrats, but when you're out there supporting socialism to a bunch of Hispanic voters who have fled socialist regimes, you're not really helping yourself win friends and influence people. It doesn't have to do with persuasion. It has to do with your stupid ideas. If you secure the border, you're tough on crime, and you keep boys out of girls' sports, you might be able to do a lot of the other stuff you want to do. But when you can't do that stuff, nobody wants you in charge because you come across as absolutely insane, and it has nothing to do with persuasion. You're not going to persuade a parent that a boy should be on the girls' sports team. You're not going to persuade a Latino voter that they should call themselves Latinx. You're not going to persuade someone who fled Venezuela that we need Venezuelan economic policy in this country. You're just not going to do it. It has nothing to do with persuasion and everything to do with you people have lost the plot. Instead, what they do is scream at the rest of us that we're bigots. And nobody cares when Democrats call you a racist or a bigot anymore, because the biggest racists and bigots people can see in America today are the Democrats who think Latino voters are just dumb and think that men voting for Donald Trump are a bunch of racist bigots, and then lecture black voters on what's best in their interests from a white perspective. Spare me your outrage. And then the Democrats, when you disagree with them, they try to punish you, including getting your bank account canceled if you're too conservative or you own too many guns. That's why I like Old Glory Bank. I never have to worry about my bank account being canceled at Old Glory Bank. I have my checking account, my savings account with Old Glory Bank, and I love them. I've actually invested in the bank. I like them so much. They are by conservatives, for conservatives. They can do business checking. They can do individual checking and savings. They can do CDs and mortgages and business loans and lines of credit and equity and car loans and you name it. They're a real bank, and they have great interest rates, by the way, on their savings accounts. OldGloryBank.com. OldGloryBank.com. You can go to OldGloryBank.com. You can fill out the form online at OldGloryBank.com. You can get your account from OldGloryBank.com online within 8 minutes. I did. That's how I started. Well, a year before they started advertising on the program. And you can develop a relationship with a bank that really wants your business by conservatives, for conservatives. OldGloryBank.com. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Terms and conditions apply.